Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace a heater core on a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 truck. It's the 5.9 liter engine. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull off this bezel here, take a flathead. We're going to rip off this bezel around the side of the dash here. So it's a heck of a lot easier getting that bezel off if you put the if you have a automatic shifter, to put the automatic shifter down into that first gear. Next, you're going to need to take off part of this panel here because we need to get this side piece off. So that's a Phillips over here. You need to do it on both sides, and then this plastic piece here will pop off. So you need to do that on both sides next. So after getting the panels off here, next what I did was I just took the glove box out, and to make it real easy, I mean, this is what we're getting to, but we have to tear a lot of stuff out because this is the heater core right here. I mean, it makes sense if they just had a couple of bolts here, bolts on this box, and you could just pull it out, but you know, obviously that'd be just way too easy. So next what I'm going to be working on is I need to get this plastic piece off. It looks like it's believe, yeah, just 2 Phillips heads to get this plastic off because we need to get behind there. Hopefully your dash is in a little better condition than mine. Mine's cracked pretty bad. But anyways, there's 5 bolts. They look to be about like 10, but I'll have to look into that to make sure. They might be smaller since this is American made. They might not use the metric system. But anyways, there's 5 bolts all along here that you need to take out. So just because of how the dash is, you have to use a huge extender. It was actually an 8mm bolt. Something I failed to mention, you want to disconnect the negative battery cable. And that's because, see, my lights are on and I'm going to be working on this for a few hours just so that I don't drain the battery. So next what I'm going to be doing is removing this bottom steering, this bottom piece of plastic from underneath the steering column. It looks like it's just, for me, 3 Phillips head screws right there. Those different places. So after you get this plastic piece removed, there are 2 screws right there and right there that you're going to want to remove, and they're both 10mm bolts. So when you take those 2 bolts out, it's actually going to drop the steering column down quite a bit, so be ready for that. Next I'm going to be removing these 2 side bolts on each side. They're a 13mm bolt. So after getting these 2 side bolts off here, they're both 10mm, right there. Take those off. Once those are off, the entire dash will come loose now. I left the shifter down in drive just so that I can move this back. See, it's getting caught here, so I'm going to need to go on that side and lift it up and over so that I can get access to the heater core back in here. So to pull the dash even further back, there's these wires right here and this little plug that was right here in the middle, so I pushed it through so I had some more room to pull it back. So as you can see, you can kind of get to the heater core. My plastic is all crap. That'll pop right off if I want. But anyways, so next you're going to take these 2 bolts off. There's 2 Phillips right here, so you're going to take those off next. So sometimes having a cracked dash in the situation is a good thing. So on the back of these metal things, there's a 7mm bolt right here that hooks all the plastic to these metal parts. And I had a piece that just fit perfectly right here that was already broken. It was just connected by that one little bolt right there, so I took it off. And I have way better access to the heater core. So I took that off next. So make sure that you get this little ribbon thing out of the way. That's supposed to be a ground. You have to make sure that you definitely reconnect that when you put it all back together. And next, there is a Phillips right there that needs to come off. So that was a pretty hard screw to get out. I ended up just using a really long Phillips, and what I did was I just pushed it down really hard and pushed it up against this like rubber right here. Really what I should have done is just cut this, because seeing on other videos and online that it's easiest just to cut that out because you're going to need to anyways to put the new heater core in. So as looking it up, this is under the hood. What you're going to need to do now to be able to fit this stupid heater core in is take off this metal computer box here. And so there's 3 bolts right here, there, and there, so you need to take those off next. So I found this to be the most annoying bolt. It's actually past the trans right there. It's an 11mm bolt. Right here, sorry. But anyways, what I had to do was I had to climb up on here. Right here it's metal on the bumper. Right here, if you step right here though, it's plastic. So step right here, put my knee on the battery, be real careful with that. I mean, it's not like I'm a short guy by any means, but that was a hard one to get to. So you need to take it off though. So next you're gonna wanna get this bolt. It originally had the ground wire on it. There's 2 bolts there, they're both 10mm and they both need to come off on that same, well, there's 2 nuts that come off. So those 3 bolts were 10mm on the computer, but there's actually a 4th one right here that's an 11mm that you need to take off as well. So this next part is actually quite a nightmare. So what you're going to need to do is there's another 11mm bolt at the bottom of the condenser here, down there, that you need to release, along with another 11mm bolt right up in here. And then after you get both of those, what you can do is you can take the hoses off, just take some clamps and pry them back, and then I normally take some pliers, clamp onto here, and wiggle it back and forth so it'll come off, so it'll break that seal. So that's what you need to do for the rest of everything in the engine compartment here. For under the dash here, the entire heater box here needs to move back. And so to do that, there is a 10mm bolt. It goes right here. I already pulled everything out. Then there is the electrical wire, as I showed you. There is another 8mm bolt that goes right here. So you need to get all of those off, and then what you can do is start wiggling the whole thing back. Be careful that those AC lines don't get messed up. So you also need to take the clips off of those, so I'll show you that real quick. So these are the clips that were on the AC lines that go behind the firewall here. I can't really, you can kind of see a little bit, let's see, of a loop right there. There are 2, one on each of these lines here. So those need to come off so you have enough room to push that through. And since it has a rubber hose here, you'll be able to get enough room to do that. So before you pull the heater core through, there's actually 2 ways. You either could hack off these bars right here with a hacksaw and then pull it out and then just pull the bars out. I figure since I had to undo all that just to put the new one in, that I might as well do it now. So what I like to do is put paper towels in these to plug it up so you don't pour coolant everywhere when you're pulling the old one out. So anyways, you got to wiggle this whole, well, that's not a good angle, but this whole box here, there's a good right here for the fan base, all the electronics there, to grab onto and pull it back. And once you get it far enough back, you're able to get the heater core out of this slot here. So what you'll want to do is, if you had a leaking heater core, is you'll want to clean down in there as best as you can. Might have to get someone with small wrists. I had to get my wife to do it. And what I actually did was took a crowbar as well and wrapped a paper towel around it and cleaned it as best as I could. That'll prevent the new one from getting coolant all over it, as well as it will make sure that it heats properly and it won't burn up coolant, smell like coolant for the next like week or 2 in your truck. So the next thing you're going to do is, I took the old foam off of the old heater core. I'm going to put that on the new one, and I'm going to put the new heater core in. So this is most definitely a 2-person job. To get the heater core in, I had to cut back some of this foam. I initially had it folded up, but it just ripped off while we're trying to get the hoses past it. Something that I didn't realize is that before you plug those in, there's a plastic piece right here. I wanted to put the foam on the other side of that so that it blocks the heat from coming in the cab, completes the firewall. What I had to do was I grabbed from under here, about right here, and pulled this whole thing straight back as far as I could, while my wife, from above, up here, was working those hoses down past everything to get them into the proper place. So it's definitely a two-man job. Once you have it in, everything is going to be the reverse from here on out. Just make sure you line, see like there, I don't have it lined up, but make sure you have everything lined up, and then bolt it all back together. So this was quite the project, but hopefully is helpful, and thanks for watching.